Everyone is trying to murder Deathstroke because he seemingly killed Ra's al Ghul. The only problem is, he didn't do it. Welcome to part 2 of Shadow War right here at Comicstorian. You see, you have found yourself in the bizarre side of YouTube, where reality meets fiction, where your stories are read back to you in a dramatic fashion, where I get to pretend to be a voice actor. We take the time to make you a comic expert by filling you in on the big moments happening within the world of comics. We cut out the B-plots, limit our panel usage, and we prevent copyright problems while allowing you to have something to read to yourself if you choose to. I recommend going to your local comic book store and starting your own collection, or you can use one of our sponsors, Shortboxed. Click the link down below to win a graded comic book yourself and discover the world of collectible comics. To catch you up on what happened on part 1 of Shadow War, Deathstroke seemingly shot and killed Ra's al Ghul as he was giving the Lazarus Pit technology to the world. Batman was on the scene and found it odd that the fake Deathstroke didn't kill Talia. Robin went off on a journey to find Deathstroke, teaming up with Deathstroke's daughter, Ravager. While Talia sent the entire might of the League of Shadows after Deathstroke, it was discovered by Batman and Robin that Deathstroke is in fact innocent. So, who framed Deathstroke? While that was going on, we discovered that Respawn was actually Damian Wayne's brother, with Talia al Ghul being his mother, and Deathstroke being the father. Batman also sent Ghostmaker and Batman Incorporated to protect the members of Deathstroke Incorporated. Now on to Batman issue 123. The cell block was just as loud as it's always been in Blackgate, but a guard cuts through the noise, calling out to one of the inmates that his lawyer is here. The guard drags the man out of the cell, and the man says that those bogus charges aren't going to stick, and if he sees them again, they're gonna regret it. The man is thrown into the meeting room with the lights turned out. Batman and Robin step out as Damian says that they're from Batman and Robin, LLP. Batman slams the man onto the desk, and Damian asks if this is even the right one. Batman says that a few months ago, the Justice League encountered a crew of fake Deathstrokes who were working for the Royal Flush Gang. This is way too much of a coincidence. And the man yells, "I ain't talking to no bat! Guard, let me out!" But Damian politely asks his father, "Can I be the one to interrogate him?" The man then says, "I ain't afraid of no punk kid. What are you gonna, okay, I'll talk. What's the matter with you?" Damian tells him, I didn't even touch him. And the man simply responds, "Whatever. Listen, the Royal Flush Gang hired me to pose as Deathstroke and gave us cash for the costumes. They sent me to a tailor in Central City. His name was Gamby. But here's the thing, there was another guy. He wasn't with us, but he was also getting a Deathstroke costume. A pretty boy. Looks familiar, but I can't quite place his face. The costume that he got was special. He wanted the classic look. But this guy, he was not a happy camper. Anger radiated off of him like the room was shaking. It was scary." And with the new lead, Batman and Damian head over to Central City. But on the way there, Batman asks Damian about the death tournament that he was in. Damian doesn't respond, but instead stares at a reflection of Respawn in the window. Batman asks again, but Damian tells him, "Sorry, I didn't hear you. I was thinking about Respawn. It wasn't the first time that I've had to deal with a clone, but there's something about him, something that's different. I want to help Respawn, the same way the rest of the family helped me." A few moments later, the two drop into Gamby's warehouse and sneak in through the secret passageway. But as they walk, Damian says that there's something about the tournament that he wants to tell him. "Father, I sort of have a girlfriend now." Batman looks over his shoulder. "What?" But in doing so, he trips the alarm. As the hideout's security turrets activate, Batman tells Damian to run. They begin to dodge flamethrowers, energy guns, regular guns, and Damian says that he would like it known that he isn't the one who set that off. The two barrel through the door at the end of the hallway, and it's there that they find Gamby's place has already been destroyed by someone. Batman sees Gamby's body on the ground and says that he isn't dead, just heavily tranked. Damian tells him that that doesn't sound like Slade. None of this does. This might not be about Ra's at all. This is about Mother and Deathstroke. Someone wanted a war between Talia al Ghul and Deathstroke. A voice calls out, "The boy is smart, but if he's as smart as I remembered, you guys would have stayed out of this and let me do what you couldn't." Batman and Damian look up at the imposter Deathstroke. "Was I right? You knew what would happen if you killed Ra's al Ghul." The imposter jumps in. "This war will stop when Slade Wilson is truly punished." Meanwhile, back in Washington, D.C., Deathstroke looks out and says, damn. He turns back to Respawn and Ravager. Okay, you can come out now. And Ravager asks, who is he talking to? Deathstroke yells, whichever one of Batman's sidekicks is watching us, come on out. Hood from Batman Incorporated steps out. I am not a sidekick, but how did you know? Deathstroke says that as much as they would like to think they are, they're not as good as Batman. Now tell the boss I want to meet. I know who killed Roz. Hood tells him, first, Batman is not our boss. And right now, Batman is following a lead. So anything you have to say to him, you can say. But at that moment, a throwing star is thrown into Hood's shoulder, and the demon shadows surround everyone, shouting, "Death to Deathstroke!" Everyone tramples over Hood as he asks why is he being attacked. And one of the ninjas tells him, we're here to kill Deathstroke and his associates, including those who would protect him. Deathstroke, Respawn, and Ravager jump off of the building to escape, running into the next wave of ninjas. Except the next wave has guns instead of katanas. Deathstroke manages to punch one, grabbing a hold of another, telling him, if I die, he dies too. And the captured ninja says, my life means nothing. I live to serve the demon's head. Long live the demon's head! As all of the ninjas cock their guns, Respawn throws himself in the middle, telling Deathstroke to get down. But before Deathstroke could tell him no, the ninjas open fire. Ravager fights through the last ninja on her side, but as she rushes over to where her father is, she slows down at the sight before her. No, 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 no! Deathstroke is holding Respawn's body, repeating to himself, not again! Not again! Not again! The next story in the reading order is Deathstroke Incorporated, number 9. As Batman and Damian have used the clues to figure out who the imposter Deathstroke is, they now find themselves face to face with the man himself when he arrived at the tailoring shop of Gamby of Central City. Everyone stares at one another with Batman asking, who are you? You must realize there are consequences for your actions. The imposter asks, what exactly is my crime? I've removed a dangerous man from this world, a man who has attempted genocide for hundreds of years. Batman asks, if that's the case, why don't you take credit for the death? And the imposter tells him because his mission is not yet complete. Talia and Deathstroke need to destroy each other. But as the imposter is speaking, Damian notices that he's trying to hide an accent. I could sense that he knows us, but no one that I trust would ever wear that costume. The imposter tells him, yeah, well, I followed your orders once. It never did me any good then, and it certainly won't now. At that moment, the imposter pulls out a gun, opening fire, but Batman quickly throws a pair of batarangs to disarm him. The imposter turns, charging through a wall, but rather than hitting the wall, he somehow bursts through it. The damage to the building causes enough of a tremor to start bringing down the room, so Batman quickly grabs Gamby and the two dodge the incoming debris. The dust begins to settle. Batman finds another hole like the one that they found outside of Washington, D.C. Damian watches him examine it and asks him, what is this? Is there more to this case that you're not saying? Do you still not trust me enough, Father? But Batman continues examining and not answering Damian. Meanwhile, back at Batman Incorporated headquarters, Ghostmaker and the others are trying to keep what they can of the secret society locked down, but everything just seems a bit too quiet. At that moment, there's an explosion, but instead of Talia's assassin storming the building, it's Deathstroke. Everyone prepares for a fight, but Ghostmaker says that this is just a distraction. The real target is the secret society who have already escaped. Ravager leads the group, telling them to remember no killing. They just need to get out of Gotham. But to make sure that the others don't interfere, Deathstroke stands between Batman Incorporated and Ravager, daring Ghostmaker to make the move. Deathstroke tells him, I'm surprised we've never met. I've heard stories about you. And Ghostmaker tells him, I've heard some of you as well. Always thought you were a bit overrated. A lot of talk, but not enough walk. But what do I expect from a guy who usually goes after kids? Deathstroke grabs his sword, swinging. At least I'm not a low-budget Batman. The two go back and forth with swings, managing to get a slight hit on one another, until Ghostmaker kicks Deathstroke into the next room. The rumors were true. You're getting slow in your old age. As Ghostmaker walks up to finish this battle, he sees the Deathstroke is actually gone. Seconds later, Deathstroke grabs Clown Hunter and holds a gun to his head. This your boy? I had a boy, but I've lost so many kids because of you so-called heroes. Really need to stop letting children play dress-up. Ghostmaker steps forward, telling him, let the boy go, or so help me. Deathstroke grabs, breaking one of Clown Hunter's arms. You're fast, but is the boy's life worth proving how good you really are? Ghostmaker stops, dropping his swords. Batman would finally cross the line if I let Clown Hunter die. Deathstroke shoves Clown Hunter towards Ghostmaker. Congrats, kid. Someone cares about you. But before leaving, Deathstroke pulls out a small switch, activating it. Within seconds, the entire building begins to explode, and Ghostmaker says, I am so billing Batman for this. As they begin to escape, Clown Hunter asks where did Deathstroke even go? But meanwhile, over in Nepal, Angel Breaker reports that she had spoken with Black Canary. She rejected their offer. They currently have no lead as to where Deathstroke could be, but they're still on the hunt. Talia says very well. But for now, we will take few precautions, starting with this one. She walks up to Mother Soul, telling her that Roz is dead, that he was killed, and Mother Soul looks up. I knew it. The prophecy is coming to pass. Talia scoffs. I am done listening to you. I've kept you here as a favor to my father, but we will return the witch back to Lazarus Island. As Talia leaves, a pair of her assassins report that a bat plane is en route. Should they allow it to land? Talia tells them yes. My beloved has come to his senses. Batman is going to bring back my son. Direct everyone to greet them. But as the hatch to the bat plane opens, Deathstroke charges in with Ravager and his secret society in an all-out attack. Next up in the reading order is Robin, issue 14. With everyone pouring out of the jet, Deathstroke calls out to everyone to slaughter all of them. Just leave Talia al Ghul to me. As Talia's assassins begin to fall, members of the Demon's Fist begin to retreat, stating that they offered to help Talia out of honor, but they refuse to die here. Before long, Talia stands with only Angel Breaker as her last line of defense. But as Angel Breaker tells her that she needs to leave, Talia tells her no. I do not run, especially from Slade Wilson, the man who murdered my father. And Deathstroke informs her, that wasn't me. But we're way past that now. Your boy toy is most likely not far behind either. But he's not going to make it in time. Talia draws her blades, telling him, I do not need Batman to kill you! Meanwhile, not far off, Batman gathers up Ghostmaker and the others from Batman Incorporated after being targeted by Deathstroke in hopes that they might be able to stop an all-out war between the Secret Society and Talia's League of Shadows. But as they prepare to fly in with their gliders, Damian notices that he is the only one without a glider. This is too dangerous for you. And Damian shouts, Will I forever be a small child that my mother has left on your doorstep? Is this still about Alfred Pennyworth? You said if you were there, Alfred wouldn't have died. Batman pauses for a moment. What I said before, that was cruel and not what I meant. I should have never left Gotham when Bane took over. I shouldn't have left you in a position where you felt you had to save Alfred alone. Alfred's death was never your fault. That is why you need to stay behind. Because I need to know that you are safe. Father, you're going to have to trust me, whether you want to or not. Damian turns, jumping out of the ghost stream without a glider or parachute, and Batman quickly jumps after him. Damian watches the battles below, but Batman catches him to land safely. Fine, we need to find Deathstroke. As the others land shortly after, they all prepare themselves to jump into the fray, but a voice calls out, Hey Koa Bear, seeing you work with Batman is really disappointing. Ghostmaker stops, turning back to see Angel Breaker with her sword already raised, and he asks, What are you doing here? Angel Breaker tells him, Old friends and loyalty are often our weaknesses. But Ghostmaker scoffs. You are never that loyal. She screams as she charges into fight, and Batman and Damian comb through the area to try and hopefully stop Deathstroke and Talia from killing each other. As Damian gets ready to turn a corner, a ninja gets ready to strike down when suddenly he is cut down by Ravager. Damian looks at Ravager with disgust. I can't believe that you chose to work with your father over me. And Ravager says that after what his mother did to Respawn, she had to help. Damian is confused, baffled by the statement. What are you talking about? Ravager pulls off her mask, asking, Did you not know? Respawn's dead. Talia's ninjas killed him, just like they killed Hood. Batman overhears this. I'm sorry for your loss. Too many have died over this charade. It needs to stop. Damian, let's... But as Batman reaches out for his son, Damian smacks his hand away. Don't! I don't need that, not from you! Let's go find Mother. Inside of the palace, Deathstroke and Talia deflect each other's attacks, and Deathstroke asks, "Do you know what your old man did? He created a clone of us, a boy." Talia slashes at his arm. "My father's experiments were of no concern to me." And Deathstroke kicks her back, shouting, "I wanted to help the boy, but you took him from me. Right now, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to torture you. I'm gonna make you watch as I kill Batman and then your little bastard." She screams as she lunges back in, her anger getting the best of her as Deathstroke readies his attacks, delivering a punch that knocks her down. He reaches down, picking up Talia by her hair. "You were close to surpassing Ra's a few times, right? You were the leader of your own empire. Hell, even Batman was afraid of you. But you always failed in the end. Forever chasing that dragon, aren't you?" Deathstroke swings his sword, with Talia catching it in her bare hand. "I am not chasing any dragon. I am the dragon." In that brief moment, she takes out one of her daggers, thrusting it into Deathstroke's chest, ripping the blade out. Deathstroke falls to the ground, and Damian runs in. "No! He isn't the one who killed Grandfather!" Ravager walks up asking, My father is dead?" Batman also stunned at the sight. "What have you done?" And a voice tells him, "What you should have done a long time ago." The imposter Deathstroke walks out. "My real hope was that they would have both died." Talia grabs her blade. "I killed the real Deathstroke. I certainly can kill this imposter." There's a sudden rumble throughout the palace, and the imposter looks at Batman. "You should be proud. I waged war in the shadows to get what I wanted." Talia asks, "What did my family ever do to you?" The imposter begins to pull away the costume. "Deathstroke hurt my family, but you hurt my country. The people of Markovia need their prince to avenge them. They need Geoforce! And you will all die today! Or only Talia. You decide." And now we go to the finale of the Shadow War, Shadow War Omega. Everyone stares down at the one behind it all, the one who killed Ra's al Ghul, the one who set up the war between Talia and Deathstroke. Geoforce begins to use his powers, and Batman yells, "What are you doing? Talk to me!" Geoforce tells him, "You know what Deathstroke did to my family, what he did to my sister. Seems like everyone forgot about Terra and the Teen Titans. But I didn't. No one can even stop Deathstroke, but I had to. If I could no longer be the hero of Markovia, I'd be the hero of the world. Ra's al Ghul, Talia, Deathstroke, they all needed to be taken down years ago. Now just stay out of my way so I can finish this Batman." Batman tells him, "That would not be justice then." And Geoforce is now furious. "Justice! What would you do if Gotham was destroyed? If one of the countless times Ra's had tried, he had succeeded? Would he be allowed to live then?" But just then, Angelbreaker breaks through the wall shouting that all of the remaining Demon Shadow ignore the secret society and Batman Incorporated. They need to protect Lady Talia. As Angelbreaker lunges in with her sword, Geoforce turns, pulling apart the ground and bludgeoning her with stone. More rocks begin to pull up, and Geoforce yells, "If I cannot have my home, neither can you!" Prometheus tells the others to get Deathstroke and leave, but Ravager shouts, asking, "Where are they going with my father?" As some of the foundation is torn apart, the palace begins to crumble, blocking everyone's escape, forcing them to make high jumps off of the palace walls. But before they jump, a bat plane flies in close, and Black Canary tells everyone that if they needed a ride, they should have just called. Everyone jumps down onto the plane, and Black Canary takes off, but Geoforce watches. "You have forced my hand." The ground below begins to split as fiery eruptions shoot into the sky. The explosions then hit the plane, causing it to spiral out of control. As it begins to crash land, everyone slowly begins to pull themselves out of the wreckage. Batman asks, "How did you know that we were here?" Black Canary tells him, "Well, Angelbreaker asked me if I could help kill Deathstroke, and I said no. But that really didn't stop me from following. Just needed some help getting out here is all." As Black Canary is filled in about everything that happened, a thunderous voice calls out to Talia that her judgment day has come. And for her crimes, the Al Ghul line ends here. The ground begins to shake as the rocks begin to come together, forming a giant stone golem. With his massive fist, Geoforce swings down, separating everyone. But as it begins to rain rocks down, Batman is struck in the back, knocked off balance. Another boulder begins to hurtle towards him, but Talia leaps into the air, cutting through it before it can hit him. He tells her thank you, but she tells him not to look into it. Our son has lost enough. Batman then starts to look around, asking, where is Damian? Along the side of the giant golem, Damian is beginning to scale up the golem's arm, telling Geoforce, stop being a coward and hiding behind your rocks. The head opens up. Coward? Who said that I was hiding? Geoforce rings more stones down, Damian dodging them, continuing to climb. I did, when you disguised yourself as Deathstroke. Geoforce shouts back that he had to watch his country burn because of his mother. A piece of me will burn with my people, but in the end, I know that my choices were righteous. Damian fights his way through the barrage of rocks pelting him. It doesn't matter! You've killed people! Your actions led to the death of others. People who never had a chance to change. You dare call yourself a hero? Heroes don't kill. He launches himself as he gets closer, delivering a powerful kick to Geoforce's face, causing him to lose his connection to the golem. The towering figure begins to fall apart, and Batman leaps in, grabbing Damian before a boulder could land on him. Damian asks, you caught me? And Batman tells him, always. Ravager then says that the father-son stuff's gotta wait, this isn't over yet. Talia is holding her blade to Geoforce's neck. If I so much as feel a tremor, I will end you. Geoforce coughs. Is this the part where I'm supposed to beg? And Talia tells him no. There will be no mercy today. Batman gets ready to step in, but Damian stops him. Let me. You're my family, just as she is. Just trust me, Father. Batman stares silently for a moment and steps back, letting Damian take the lead. Talia grits her teeth. This man killed my father. And Damian says, because of your actions. But he is far from innocent. Grandfather earned his death. In the end, he believed that our family could do something better, but Ra's also believed that he needed to pay for his actions first, that we all must pay, Mother. Talia shakes her head. This man has done so much damage to our lives. I don't even know why I'm so upset. Damian looks at his mother again. Because you saw that he wanted to change. And right now you have the choice to live by Grandfather's final wishes or to end this yourself. Talia struggles, holding the blade, debating the choices, and throws it to the side, turning to hug Damian. Geoforce sits up. No, the demon line must end! But as he covers his arms in stone, Talia kicks back, yelling, that was for my father. And our story comes to a close. With the curtain falling, Geoforce is taken into custody by Chase, while Ravager tries to look for where the secret society may have taken her father's body. Angelbreaker escaped with the remains of the demon Shadow, and Talia honored what her father set out to do, turning herself in. As for Batman and Damian, Batman knows that he has a lot of work to do to make up for being, well, Batman. Damian too knows that he also could have made better decisions, but right now, Batman isn't worried about any of that. He's more worried about this death tournament and his son having a new girlfriend. Damian turns laughing. And Oracle radios in that Killer Moth is back, teamed up with Firefly this time. Should she call Nightwing or the Batgirls? Batman smiles and tells her, no, not today. This one calls for Batman and Robin. And there you have it, our conclusion to Batman Shadow War. I hope you guys enjoyed these two videos, but the story isn't done yet. You see, this now leads into the death of the Justice League, which is going to lead into Dark Crisis. So if you want to see where Batman goes next and what is going to happen to Batman, Robin, and the rest of the DC Universe, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you want early access, make sure you hit us up over at Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.